Hello and welcome to today's program, your health chat program which looks at various health matters and other related issues. As you may be aware, we are looking at the cholera situation in our country, and we have invited so many professionals from different sectors to come and just look at this issue so that we can find ways and means to just help the situation. And today we are blessed to have the president and the founder of the Zambia National Marketeers Credit Association, which is Zanamaca. Welcome to our program.
Thank you, Faith. Thank you, listeners out there and all the viewers.
Oh, yes, thank you so much. And this is Mr. Mupila Kamea, who will just take us through to see to it that we take one or two things as we look at this problem. First of all, what is this Zanamaca?
Well, Zanamaca in full is Zambia National Marketeers Credit Association. Yes. We founded this association way back in 2005. I think we have close to about 20 years, fighting for our people, basically in the area of, trying to provide social, health, and economic, empowerments, which we are doing. And under these three pillars, we have identified a number of partners that are working with us to begin with. The financial institutions like Indo-Zambia Bank that have partnered with us, Zambia Industrial Commercial Bank, our own bank, and many more banks that are coming on board, including the citizen economic empowerments, because they are dealing with our marketeers. And in fact, for them, we partnered long way back in 2009 when we designed this empowerment, which now we are calling Marketeers Booster, long time. And so these are empowerments, institutions that have come on board to work with us to empower our marketeers across the country. On social pillar number 2, we've partnered with NAPSA and NEMA, which is National Health Insurance Management, and workers' compensation. We realized that this time around, a pension is required for the people in the informal sector, for that marketeer out there, for that trader, for that farmer. So there's a pension scheme that has been developed, which we must appreciate the current government for that, initiative that we are now driving out there in various markets to sensitize our marketeers, to be onboarded on the NAPSA platform so that they get their pension, on the workers' compensation, because 75% of all the travelers across the country are coming from the informal sector. So many accidents that occur, usually you find that it's this marketeer, this trader. Maybe they are picking up goods from various places, traveling into the other city, so they are found in that problem. They may not have that money, but workers' compensation is coming in to sort out that problem in case someone is in the hospital. How do they do it? Do they have to get the capital which they got from Indo-Zambia Bank or any other financial institutions? The answer is no. The solution has been sorted out by workers' compensation. And NEMA also, we are also carrying out that obligation to ensure that we encourage our people to register on NEMA in case they are sick. No one should touch the capital if you're a marketeer. There are all these solutions that government has put in place, which Zanamaca is driving to ensure that we reach out in the informal sector generally.
Well, that is good to know. And looking at the period you've mentioned, that's quite a long time. How has been the response from these marketeers?
Very overwhelming, and the demand is very high. If you look at the population of marketeers now, standing at 3.7 now. That's the population of active, marketeers actively engaged in business. Talk about the small-scale farmers that bring produce in the market, over 2 million, because we depend on the small-scale farmers that bring the produce so that our people can buy and resell. And the markets themselves, close to about 3,000 markets. These are structures where our people are trading from. So this is a very huge, sector. If anything, we're the largest employer in this country. I'm proud to say so, because I've seen civil servants at some point, they want to get a stand, they want to do business in the markets even before they retire. And most of them today, when they retire, they go in the market. So this is a very huge platform that brings everyone together, in terms of, survival.
Wow, brilliant. But generally, how is the business running now, currently, looking that we are in this situation where we have this problem of cholera? How is business in the market?
First of all, the business is going down, especially that we don't have more money in circulation around markets, because we need more empowerments going into the hands of these marketeers, because there are times you need money to buy and resell, then you don't have the money, so you are held in terms of running your business. And then secondly, remember COVID hit us again, you know, it was very difficult to catch up. And again, now we have this cholera, which has hit us again, because there's an issue that you cannot buy this from there and all that. And some of us cannot go in the market to buy our products. So a marketeer is losing out. And it's a bit, you know, not easy at all for them to survive, especially that it's rain season again. You find that most of our markets do not have the shelter, do not have the standard that can attract, you know, a client walking in. And some of the people now, they want to depend on buying from malls. And that's why our advocacy has been that we need to see at some point we have a market like a mall, we have markets like malls, that level. Because those are areas where we have a number of people. I've talked about the populations, over 3 million plus people trading in those markets, whom we believe that these are the people that you know, have been trying to supplement what government is supposed to do. And so we need such markets that can attract these, you know, people coming in to buy our products. And one of the things, again, our markets do not have refrigeration systems that can hold our goods, you know, perishable goods. You know, when we order those goods, and if they are not sold, all of them, we end up throwing them. And this is what Zanamaca is trying to lobby from various partners across the country and across the world, that, you know, the markets here in Zambia, this is a very lucrative platform that will need so many partners to work with us, so that we are able to, you know, increase, you know, the capacity in terms of capitalization, in terms of the economy of this country. Because we believe that if marketeers are given the support that they need, a social empowerment, which we have mentioned about, you know, the pension scheme through NAPSA, which is a plus, because the benefit is not only to the marketeer, but also NAPSA. As a government department, we also collect enough in terms of, you know, compliance from our sector. So it's a win-win situation. So we need a number of partners to give us that support, especially on refrigeration is one thing. Because when these, you know, fruits or these vegetables are thrown out, they may not be picked up in time by our local authorities, who are overwhelmed with a lot of work, which I think these are some of the problems that we are facing. But we need to work hand in hand with various partners, stakeholders, so that our markets become, you know, be the shape that we want to see.
Right. Obviously, you've mentioned of other challenges that you are facing, you know, as Zanamaca and the marketeers per se. But what impact really has cholera, you know, put or has actually come with on the marketeers, so that maybe when we look at this, the impact, we might find the solution to this? What impact really has cholera put on the marketeers? Well,
the pressure is very huge. What always comes in the mind of this marketeer when there are such pronouncements that there's cholera here, and all that, is the closure of a market. Because all of us are aware that our markets are not of a better standard that, you know, I can talk about here. And this is probably because of the very fact that we all have not participated as citizens to ensure that where we are operating from, where we are living, where we're operating from, you know, these are two different things. You find people sweep so much where they live, you know, and they don't clean where they're operating from. That's one of the things that, you know, is attributing to the coming in of this cholera problem, because people are not managing their area of operation. Because everyone is saying the council will come and clean up, because we all know that, you know, councils are now running our facilities across the country, markets. But we forget that a stand belongs to a particular person, a store, a shop belongs to a particular person. So this person has to make sure that they clean where they're operating from. And that has really contributed, because everyone is just dumping here and there. And council cannot do that alone, and that's why I think I'm here to ensure that I take this message is taken to all the traders out there so that we begin to take care of where we're operating from so that we reduce the problem or we mitigate the problem of cholera across the country.
All right, but as an association, what is it really that you're doing and what is it that you're putting in place to make sure that you help this other partner who is there as a council? What are you doing as an association?
First of all, I want to thank the working government for the removal of cadarism. This war has been a challenge all this time, and they've created sanity in our markets. But I think what is lagging in between is now to see how we can coordinate to all the players around so that now we take the message to the people. Basically, what we are doing as an association, working with the local authorities across the country this time around, is that we want to engage our leaders to begin with, because every market has a leadership who should be trained as ambassadors of health, because cholera has been coming and it may come again if our people do not have that information. So we want to train these, market leadership so that they understand, and then they will trickle down that information to the marketeers in those markets so that they begin to do what is just required in terms of, hygiene, practices in these markets. I think all of us are aware because of a lot of, products that come in the market. It has been very difficult to clean these markets. And so we want through these, our ambassadors, the leaders, to, when they engage the marketeers, on a daily basis, someone has to clean where they're operating from in the morning when they come and when they knock off. I think we'll be able to see our markets clean. And the other problem, again, our drainage system have been so poor. Every market you go to, the drainage system is very poor. If it is closed, we don't know when it was cleaned. So we as Zanamaca, with the support of government and other partners, we want to clean up these drainage systems in all the markets. And we want to be supervising and checking which market. We should have a system where we say which market is the cleanest market across the country, and they receive a reward. I think that will encourage, many of these markets to maintain a better standard and attract the clients, attract, the consumers and all that. Okay. And so we have lined up a number of activities to ensure that our people get the right information. Because many at the times that we are cheated, that whatever happens is governments. It's governments. Everyone is talking about government. But we forget that government is the people, by the people, for the people, ourselves. We need to participate because the constitution here, our constitution of this country is very clear. Because the duties of a citizen, what is my duty? My duty is what I've come here for, to pass on the information. And it's not only to promote democracy and the rule of law, but very importantly, I like this bullet where it says, contribute to the well-being of the community where that citizen lives, including the observance of health controls. And so when we talk about cholera, where is this cholera coming from? There's no cholera in the bush where animals live. Cholera is where people are. It means people are not responsible. So if we are citizens, a citizen is not only someone who was born and bred in that country. Even those that are coming, they are also citizens. We all have to come together, work as a team, ensure that where we are living, how conducive is it? And as part of the solution in terms of managing cholera issues, managing sanitation and hygiene, as an association, I think we can do something in terms of putting up, portable toilets. We don't have enough toilets in our country, in markets, various countries. Markets. We need portable toilets. We have partners that have offered themselves to give us these portable toilets, which we can put everywhere so that, we quicken up the process, because one toilet, imagine one toilet against 10,000 marketeers.
Exactly.
Or against 5,000 marketeers. It's not easy. And that's why you find fecal everywhere. And fecal brings this while we are sitting here. So we need a lot of support, especially in our sector markets. I believe that's where we have these problems.
Okay. Well, that was actually very good of you to mention of portable toilets and what, because I was supposed to come to that question. But now, I'm looking at the problems which marketeers have and experience and all the challenges which they have. This has been going on for some time, and I'm sure you have put in some measures to that effect. But do you have any deliberate, programs currently looking at the situation where we are experiencing cholera? Any deliberate, activity that is in place from your association?
Well, we are trying to engage the local authorities to very seriously look at how they can accommodate, associations, not only Zanamaca, but there are several other associations across the country, that also have the duty to manage the affairs of the particular marketeers, the particular, people in the informal sector in other areas, whom I believe that if we work as a team, in all these areas, and we support what government is doing. When government is saying we need to sweep our markets, it should be a must. And anyone that leaves, where they're operating, without cleaning, there must be a program, there must be a policy that anyone that leaves their area of operation dirty, they must be chased from the market, because they are the ones that may, bring in such problems in terms of health. And so those are supposed to be put in place, but who is going to supervise that? And this is why I'm saying that we need all of us. It's a multi-sectoral approach that must be put in place so that everyone is brought together to support, to supplement to what government is trying to ask us to do.
Well, viewers, we are looking at the impact of cholera in markets, and just to see and find ways and means on how we can help to just keep this issue, and then we might as well save a life. Let's take a break.
Hena korera ninzi, korera bulwazi bwa kusomona. Imuntu ujiswa bulwazi bwa korera ulasomona akuluka kapati. Itubi tulahamenda manji. Imulwazi ulawanyota kapati agambwa kumana kwa menda mubiri. Imulwazi iwa korera wengawahwa mumawola alo ali 12 gombo kutita jana busirisi buli kaboto. Hena munzira iri buti muntu mbwako yakujana bulwazi bwa korera. Igunywa menda alo atabikidwe musamu ja tusunda na menda aje sitombe. Igurya jagurya jalo igubereha manza atasahigwa igabuto na igubereha mitima na himwi yalo atasahigwa amimusamu na mwamenda ajisi imusamu walo ja tuzunda. Igurya jagurya jitawunigidwe jalo jakarwa nzinini. Igurya jagurya jitontola jalo jalegekwa na jajilo jalo jenero tija oburu gabuto. Igurya jagurya jamumazira. Igurya imijelo na jihumani jalo jatasahigwa gabuto. Hena munzira iri buti muntu mbwako yahugwa bira bulwazi bwa korera. Igubona masimpe guti wabagwananganya gabuto menda agunywa igwinda mugubona masimpe guti ajigwa na igubiko musamu wa chlorine. Amusambe mumanze nugubere hansipa na menda abigwe musamu uja tuzunda mwamana gubere hajimbuzi. Amujisibige nangu jigasaha ija kurya gamutana agujirya. Amuhunige ija kurya jindi yonse igutegwa guti jitakarwe nzinini. Mutari ija kurya jagura mu mazira. Amuberehe ijimbuzi jindi yonse. Amulitantamune mugobereha igumbuli na tupepa rwa plastic mugusowa tubi. Ambone masimpe guti tubi twasogwa na igubikwa mu jimbuzi. Ambone masimpe guti jimbuzi jindi yonse gajisalala na gajihunigitwe. Oyimulumbe wale twagulindunye abamutabulanga nyanseba mujisi.
Welcome back. This is your health chat, and today we are looking at the impact of cholera in markets. With me in the studio, I'm having a conversation with the president and the founder of Zanamaca, which is Zambia National Marketeers Credit Association. We have observed,
Yes.
Markets being the biggest place where we interact, where we meet, where we trade, and all that. And so the issue of solid waste management has been an issue. As an association, what really are you doing to help in that situation? Because that is the biggest. You would find that the same waste, the drainages here are not worked on. meaning the flies will come from there, they'll come to the fruits. From there, they'll go to the vegetables and all that. What is it that you're doing as an association?
First of all, I think we have a challenge here, which I believe that the solution should come from us, should come from everyone. I talked about the citizenry here. As citizens, what is a solution here to sort out this problem? The local authorities across the country must begin to engage, must begin to identify major stakeholders. If we talk about markets, which association, which organization, is looking at the affairs of the marketeers? We have a solution. And solid waste management is not the council's problem alone. It's also a problem. It's affecting everyone. And so as we begin to plan on how we can manage solid waste management in our markets, we should sit down. Maybe we have the solutions. For example, one of the solutions we need to see in these markets, we must separate these wastes. I've seen in all the markets we just pile everything together. In some instances, in some areas, this solid waste, this waste is money, can be sold somewhere. But we want to see a situation where we separate these wastes, non-biodegradable and the gradable materials are separated. If we talk about the greens are separated and all that, I think if that can be done, then we'll be able to see this problem come to an end. But we've not done that because all we see is the council come and collect and they take wherever they take. But that's not a very serious solution that can sort out the issue of solid waste management. We need to work together so that we provide these solutions to the local authorities so that our cities will be clean. Today, people are now throwing garbage anywhere, even on the roadside. They don't have dumping sites. Councils should build those, identify areas where our people can dump, their garbage, and then they pick up. But we have another big problem. Even when you do that in our compounds, people can throw things anywhere because also the lack of information, sensitizations. These are things that we need to do to ensure that our towns and cities are cleaner. We don't expect anyone from somewhere to come and clean our towns. We don't expect anyone to come and clean our market. It is ourselves that should do so. Failure to which tomorrow government will say we are closing this market. What will happen? Maybe this market has employed 30,000 marketeers, like City Market, for example. 30,000 jobs. I don't know whether we have such a company in this country that has employed 30,000 at one place. It's not possible. So we need to ensure that all of us, participate to sort out the problem of, solid waste in this country.
In this country, for sure. I know that there are so many issues, really, that we have to look at and address. But also, maybe this brings me to a concern where we see meat products being sold openly. And now, just as I mentioned earlier, you find that the same flies, will come to these meat products, they go to the fruits, they'll go to and sit on, different products which we have. What is your take on the selling of meat products in open spaces, like, the way it is done? Just the market you've mentioned, City Market, it's done openly. What is the solution to that?
First of all, I want to remind government through the Ministry of Local Government to up the game in the way they look at market infrastructure development. Our markets are dilapidated. Even when it's a new market, go there after 5 years. It will be a different scenario. We've seen markets where people are building, their structures on the drainage system. How do you clean that drainage? When are you going to clean it up? And so that's a problem. So that's why we are saying that we need all of us to work together, identify areas where there are problems. For example, you talked about meat products. I haven't seen a market with proper refrigeration system, because when you build a market, there must be also space where people can be keeping their their products, produce,
Yes.
so that when they sell, they take back for tomorrow's sales. Yes, in markets like City Market or like any other market, we have an area where you can sell your meat products and then pack them. But we've allowed a situation where people sell even outside, they sell meat. I think that's the duty of the local authorities, working with the market leadership, working with ourselves. Because why I'm saying ourselves as associations is that an association is not an association like a group of people. An association is a member of that association. The councils knock off at 17 hours, they go. But we have marketeers that trade from 03 up to 21 hours. These are the people that should manage whatever happens there, that should supplement to what the councils are supposed to do. Now here's a blame game. Someone is selling meat products outside, everyone is standing at a kimbo, people are buying. Where cholera comes from, no one will not trace. So for us to manage the cholera problem in this country, I think we should manage where these foods are sold from. The meat products must be sold in proper stands, in proper shops where our people can manage in terms of hygiene. There's no hygiene here. And then maybe the other thing that we have proposed as Zanamaca is that we need to to begin to add value to what our people are selling. These meats must be packaged, put in the fridge, and then sell the way they are, well packaged. We need to add value to what these people are selling, because for them it's a livelihood. If we say you can't sell here, it becomes a problem. But we want to emphasize on coming up with a way we can package them. We give them packages which they can use, refrigerate, and then sell. I think that will add a lot of value in mitigating the issues of cholera and any other waterborne diseases, especially during rain season.
Thank you so much. You've mentioned of local government, when we are looking at the situation where we are, cholera has ravaged our communities, have ravaged our trading places and all. How best are you engaging the local authority? I know for sure that in a way or so you are trying to do what you can, but how best are you engaging them as a local authority?
Well, to begin with, we're very much privileged as an association. We've partnered with the Ministry of Health itself for the purpose of disseminating health information to our people in markets and in various communities. I must be proud for that. And we've also partnered with the Ministry of Local Government itself, because that's our line ministry. What we are doing in the markets, that's our line ministry. We've also partnered with the Ministry of Small and Medium, Ministry of Technology and Science, and including the Ministry of Finance. We're working with them. And so while we're working with these ministries, I think there's a lot that they're trying to do with us, so that even when we get on the ground, our people get the truth, because there's an issue of also interpreting what government is doing, because not only at that level, but what government is doing to that person in those areas. So Zanamaca has taken up that role in ensuring that we take that message, basically focusing on the social, health and economic empowerments that now we are taking to the informal sector. And very importantly on this subject, cholera outbreak in our country, we believe that if we are well engaged again and we're given the support that we need, for example, the issue of unblocking drainage systems, we don't expect anyone to come from someone to do it for us. It's ourselves. We need to be supported financially by basically government and other players, especially the private sector. They've not done much in terms of coming on the ground to help, to supplement to government's effort in the fight against cholera. I haven't seen them doing much. And one thing I'll mention here is that you go into town, any other town, you find litter everywhere. You are going to identify the products where they were coming from. You identify those products, which company. But we are just watching at Akim. We're standing and watching, and it's quite disturbing. We haven't seen those institutions coming on board to give support, to help collect what they are throwing. They're interested in making money. I don't think that is very good as citizens. We all have to participate. Those institutions must come on the ground, work with us to ensure that we pick up whatever has been dropped. I remember in olden days when I was just young, I could see the local authorities employing people who were going with, some wires.
Yes.
They were picking up those plastics, paper, what. We need to see that back. How do you pick paper, for example, and plastic? You need some material which can pick. If we engage 100, for example, per market or maybe a street, our towns will be clean. Then now when we'll be saying that when we find someone throw any litter there, we arrest them, that would be better. Otherwise, we are working so well with this government and we can do better if we continue doing so.
Great. Just that call, you've mentioned of stakeholders that you're working with, and the Ministry of Health has really recommended your association in, trying to work hand in hand with them. What is your take?
Well, this is a very good thing, but that's why our emphasis is that many more other partners must be identified, especially in the area of markets. We have so many associations out there whom we can bring on board to continue helping, supplementing to the efforts of government, because government alone cannot do anything. It needs us, needs everyone, it needs all of us to work together. And quickly, we need quick response. For example, cholera outbreak. We need to get on the ground and clean up where this problem is. Prevention is better than cure. If we rush into curing people, we will not sort out the problem. This cholera will continue until further notice. And then more resources will be spent. But it's better we spend resources on cleaning up where the problem is, because the solution is not the medication. The solution is you and myself, all of us, clean up where we are coming from. I think this cholera will be defeated. We will not have flies everywhere. We have flies because we are not managing where we are coming from, where we're operating from. Okay. That's what we believe.
All right, thank you. Going forward, for this one, I'm expecting you to answer it as a person, just a citizen, not as a president of this association or a founder of this association, but just as an ordinary citizen. What could be the best way of solving this problem of cholera?
We need to come up with a long-term solution. A long-term solution, we should be looking at the way our settlements were planned. That's another problem. Unplanned settlement, that's the biggest problem. I think government should begin to invest more in formalizing these settlements. We have compounds that have no drainage systems. When it rains, the water will go in October. There you expect more mosquitoes. The government will start spending money on, getting medications for those on mosquitoes. Been bitten by mosquitoes, and they have malaria. And there are a lot of things there. There are a lot of waterborne diseases that will come in. So let's have drainage system, better, settlements where there are drainage systems, proper roads. You can't have a compound with no proper road that has a drainage. That's a problem. Let's look at market infrastructure. Let's respect the people. We are the majority in whatever we do in this country. We are the largest employer, but our markets are in a dilapidated state. And this is why we see people still want to trade on the road. They may have a reason, but to us it's not a reason, because the laws are there that everyone must trade in designated places of work. And so government should be looking at these things very critically, because we are the major employer, and once we're given better markets, and in fact, they should be double-story structures or 3 layers. Why? Because the generation or the population is still increasing. People who are graduating, they may not find a job which they want. They go in the market. And so you find that we have too much population, growing up and all that. But we will have enough, because we may not have space at some point. So we put up double-story structures that will accommodate the generations to come. And on top of that, our local authorities will collect more revenue, will put up systems, put up a system that will allow anyone that pays that money, that levy, because as a citizen here, it's written in this, constitution of this country, pay all taxes and duties legally due and owed to the state. Yeah. How do we collect that revenue from the markets? What system is there? Once we put up double-story structures, it means we have more people and more revenue by the local authorities. Put up better bus stations, split them. We have only one big station here, Intercity. We have buses that are going to the eastern, southern, and all that. We need to put up bigger, stations to accommodate, so that we accommodate more buses, because there's too much congestion. Because congestion also brings issues like cholera, what we're talking about here. So we need to see those things begin to happen. So much must be planned. The budget must be put in place for such infrastructure development. Then we will see that we'll run away from cholera, we'll run away from malaria, we'll reduce and everything. That's what we think can be done.
Wow, brilliant. Really good conversation that we've had. But in closing, what could be your word to the marketeers as well as the general public?
To the marketeers, I think it's important that we begin to think positively about ourselves. Many of us have gone to school. Many of us have degrees, master's degrees. Many of us have never been to school, but we are all found in markets where we earn a living. And we must remember that without a market, we would not have survived. Our children would not have survived. With the help of government, let's ensure that we supplement what government is trying to do. Let's clean where we are operating from. Let's ensure that we remind our neighbor to clean where they're operating from, so that we run away from these problems. Let's ensure that even when we are eating, we should wash our hands, make sure that we are at all times clean. That, for us, it is a message that will make a change in terms of mitigating all these problems that we have. Because government may not be everywhere to come and remind you, hey, wash your hands, hey, clean up here. They may not be there, but we should believe that we are a government. Where we are operating from is a government. We should know that this is my place. I should maintain it this way so that I manage my family. Because when one of your members dies out of cholera, remember cholera is the deadliest. For us, it's the deadliest, because when you are sick within 24, before, you are gone. So let's be very, very cautious as citizens. Make sure we support the government. We support ourselves where we're operating from. Talk to our neighbors so that our markets will remain a better standard, where even government will not even come and say we are going to close here because of all this. The drainages must be cleaned. If you are near a drainage, make sure you clean it. The shops, in all the streets in town, we have bigger shops, but they are not helping government. We need 3 meters front and back. They must clean that area so that we make easy the job for the council to collect their garbage. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Kamea, thank you so much for appearing on our program.
Most welcome. Thank you so much, Faith.
Well, viewers, you've heard it for yourselves. Today we are looking at the impact of cholera on the markets and on our traders. And so we try to just help one another in understanding and appreciating what is on the ground. And so from me, Faith Mutale, and the entire production team, it's goodbye.
Ushe cholera chinshi. Cholera bulwele bwa kupolomia. Omuntu ukwete cholera alapolomia sana eyo nonkuluka. Obusali buba ubwa menshi nokubutuluka ngomo basukire omupunga. Omulwele wa cholera takwata menshi mu mubiri pamulandu wa kuluka ero nokupolomia. Omulwele wa cholera kuti afa munsa 12 na nguntile 12 hours nga taperwa omuti uwafikapo. Usho muntu kuti akwata shani cholera. Okunwa menshi ayabula okuwamya nangu ayafiko. Okulya ifyakulya n'emino iyalamba nangu mufipe ifyabula okusamfya n'amenshi ayasuma. Okulya ifyakulya ifyo basunga okwabula okufimbapo ifyakutira na balunshi baleikalapo. Okulya ifyakulya ifyashelepo ifyatalala ifyakutira tabafisungire bwino nakalya iyo. Okulya ifyakulya ifyo bashitisha mu misebo. Okulya ifisabo elyo n'omusalo ifyabula okusamfya. Kuti twayichingirira shani ku bulwere bwa kolera. Wamyeni amenshi yakunwa okupitira mu kuyipika nangu okubika mu chlorine. Sambeni kuminwa na sopo elyo n'amenshi ayasuma panuma yakubonfya echimbusu. Kafyeniko ifyakulya ilyo tamulalia. Fimbeni pa fyakulya fyonse pakuti balunshi tabaleikalapo. Mwilalia ifyakulya fisangwa mu misebo. Bonfyeni echimbusu inshita yonse. Mwila bonfya ifikunkubiti nangu ifupepala pakuposa ubusali. Shiningisha inokutila ubusali bonse bwaposwa mu chimbusu. Sungeni chimbusu ichabusaka n'okufimbapo inshita yonse. Iyimbira abamireterako chipa ni chimona pabumi.